Hello guys, Solitaire Gamer here, and today I'll be reviewing Season 1 Season 2 of Mobile Suit Gundam 00. This is seen by many anime fans as the best Gundam series of all time, and rightfully so because it is the best. I've seen almost all the Gundam series at this point, and this is the one that stood out the most to me. G Gundam is still my favorite Gundam series, but if I take any bias to have out of the equation, Gundam 00 is clearly the best. In this anime, fossil fuel energy is no longer viable. Now people rely on solar power. As a result, 3 groups have much power over the world because they're a solar power generator that gives them limitless solar power. These 3 groups are Union of Solar Energy and Free Nations, the Advanced European Union, and the Human Reform League. The rest of the countries that are not part of these groups are thrown into poverty and war. There is now constant tension over the control of solar power. Each of these groups are trying to become the most powerful group and have much control of the world. One day an organization known as Celestial Being announced their existence to the world. Their goal is to end all these wars and conflict, and they will use force to do so. The protagonist sets in as Gundam Meister that controls one of the powerful Gundams that the Celestial Being have. The world is shocked by the appearance of Celestial Being, and now they're putting differences aside to take down Celestial Being. Right away there's great action mysteries to draw your interest and keep you watching. It's unlike anything seen before in the Gundam franchise. A small organization that only has a few people fighting against the entire world. That is unheard of. It really was like them against the world. Many people throughout the world really hate Celestial Being. The Gundam Meisters had to fight so many mobile suits at once. It was just so exciting. There was chaos everywhere. It was cool seeing Gundam Meisters show just how powerful Gundam is. It was amusing seeing enemies look in awe of the Gundam's powers. There's a lot of strategy involved as powerful groups made multiple plans to capture these Gundams. It was interesting seeing Setsuna and the other Gundam Meisters try to escape to safety. Not only that, but Celestial Being also had interesting plans towards transforming the world into a better place. It was a rather unique goal that Celestial Being had because, usually in Gundam series, the goal is just to win a war, but the goal here was everlasting peace and no conflict. It led to interesting discussions on if this everlasting peace is possible, or is it just naive? That was part of the great mystery throughout this anime series. Just what was the ultimate goal that the founder of Celestial Being seek to accomplish? It can't just be to eliminate war, right? It was entertaining seeing Setsuna and his friends investigate this mystery and realize the shocking truth behind the true goal of Celestial Being. The fight scenes were top tier in this anime series. The Gundams did have the typical attacks you expect from a Gundam, but then there were all these different transformations added in, and definitely made the fight scenes more appealing and exciting to watch. It's like just what evolution will these Gundams undergo next? This anime is not without its flaws. After numerous attempts to capture these Gundams, these 3 major groups are basically just handing out secret behind the Gundam's powers, so that they could build mobile suits that are on the same level as Gundams. It's like, really? After all these intense attempts to capture these Gundams, and seeing Gundam Meisters barely escape, the anime is just giving a secret to the Gundams, just like that. That is ridiculous, and it's just bad writing. The viewers want to see the enemies pull off a great plan to capture these Gundams. Nobody wants to see the enemies just giving these secrets without having to work for it. It just ruined the impact of the intense fight scenes earlier on in the show. It's like, who cares if the Gundam Meisters barely escape? The anime got their hands on the secret anyway. After all the Gundam Meisters did to protect the secret of the Gundams, it was essentially pointless. The main villains of the show are absolutely terrible. They are just cliche villains obsessed with power, and want to rule the world. This isn't anything we haven't seen before. It is disappointing because at first, they seem calm and very calculating, as if there's something unique about their goals. Then it turns out later on that's not the case. They show their true colors as just a typical villain obsessed with power. There was one major issue during the fight scenes. There were way too many times where important characters looked like they were killed, only to show up again soon after. I get it. You don't want to kill off these well-liked characters, and you want to see them fight against each other again in future fights. But it still ruined the tension of the show at times. You just knew whenever there's an intense fight scene, there's going to be no resolution to it as both these characters were probably going to survive and fight again. I really didn't like the storyline of Saji and Louise. It was predictable, boring, and didn't even have a satisfying resolution to it. I really like the characters in the show. Setsuna is a great protagonist that will fight for what he believes in, even if it means using force. He knows this is war, and he can't avoid killing people. I like how strong and confident he was as a Gundam Meister. He didn't complain about having to fight. The only downside to his character is that he does lose his temper easily at times, which was frustrating to watch. Alleluia was a cool, chill character that was very likable. But what made him so entertaining to me was the other side to him that appears at times, whenever he feels cornered during fights. Now that side of him was very entertaining to watch. He had a lot of energy when that side of him appears. Lock-On felt like this cool, responsible leader that kept the rest of the Gunmeisters in check. How could you not like him? The character Teria is that serious character in anime that thinks he's smarter than everyone else. You've probably seen characters like this before. They think they're better than everyone else, and they're not team players. I get why some people would be annoyed with his character, but I like the character development he went through is realizing he couldn't do everything on his own. He helped the team be realistic and think logically. There are too many characters for me to talk about all of them, but my favorite side character was Graham, also known as Bushido. I liked the pride he had as a fighter, and how he loved fighting strong opponents. He made a great rival for Setsuna. There is one other character that joins Celestial Being later on, but I'm not going to talk about this character because it'll be spoiling a lot. This Gundam series had great opening songs I could listen to over and over. The ending songs were good as well. The music throughout this anime was decent. The animation style looked good, and the animation looked smooth during the fight scenes. You could watch this Gundam series without having to watch the previous Gundam series. It's a long series of 50 episodes, but it's well worth the watch. I give this anime a 8 out of 10. So that's what I'm talking about for today. Thank you for watching the video. Have a good night wherever you are, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and please comment if you found anything interesting in the video.